Good morning. Another episode. I believe we are on episode 3. We're going to do an episode that essentially complements the previous one on top of funnel. And we're going to go into an example of this, and we're going to use TikTok. First, before we get started, how's it going, Ryan? How is Dubai treating you today?
It's going good. Dubai's hot. Crazy hot. I think 45 or 46 degrees outside today. I had my swim. I had a little bit of sun. Dubai is always a fun place to be. So much going on. Fun city, clean.
Nice. I've been to United Arab Emirates once. I went to Abu Dhabi, and it's the only place I've ever been where it was 90 degrees when we landed at 9:30 at night.
And that was probably winter.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. I do know that Dubai is the tax capital of Europe and many other places in that region. Is that why you're in Dubai?
I actually have a business here. So I come back, I'm a resident here. To keep residency, you need to be in the country once every 6 months. So I do that a little bit more often. I do frequently come here. I have my business set up here. It's part of the reason why I come. It's also nice to travel and get around a bit. I mean, people don't realize it, but you sit in front of your computer and work all day, and you get stuck in these little weird routines. It's good to break that every now and then.
You're not wrong. It's a very unique digital world we live in. Very much agree. I love to travel, meeting people, learning their cultures. And what I typically learn is that whatever movies you have seen does not ever represent the people and the culture of the place that you're visiting. And it is always much more interesting and much more exciting when you're there.
The last time we were here, we actually went as a family. We went into a mosque. They had this whole tour. They showed us about their prayers. I mean, it was extremely insightful. And I can tell you now that being here in Dubai, the people are humble. They're very nice, very open, very pleasing. It's very nice, very welcome to Westerners. So just is a nice place to be. So you're welcome. Everybody's welcome to come here.
That's awesome. What I will say that when I was in Abu Dhabi, it was the cleanest airport that I had ever been in, and everybody was incredibly friendly. Purpose of this episode is to complement the top of funnel. And just to recap, top of funnel, let's just go up to the absolute top of the marketing funnel, which is called awareness. And a lot of people, they start to make revenue, they start to get some sales, they get excited, but they lose sight of the fact that there's still so many people that don't even know they exist. I think that it's very important that you have a top of funnel budget where you're constantly getting new to brand, new customers, new awareness. And this episode, we're going to go over how TikTok has an halo effect on the other bottom of funnels such as D2C and Amazon.
I think this ties in very well with our previous episode, the top of funnel. And this is another form of top of funnel, even more so for Amazon sellers, less so for the Shopify experience. But, it is good enough. It's still the same business. So if it's good for the one, it's always good for the other.
Wonderful. What is the TikTok halo effect? Definition. When TikTok content drives a surge in awareness and purchase behavior beyond the platform, creating a halo of influence across multiple sales channels. That is what the halo effect, essentially what they just described there, is top of funnel. Channels impacted: Amazon, D2C, Google search ranking, brick and mortar retail stores. Now, with TikTok brands that you work with, have you noticed what kind of correlation of top of funnel have you noticed on D2C?
Instantly more branded Google search. And it's not always just branded search, it's not always just the name of the brand or brand plus product. Their shopping ads too take off because people search and Google's shoving shopping ads right on top now. It's definitely typical consumer behavior. You see your top of funnel ad, TikTok does get some glory, and of course when managed correctly, there are a lot of sales on TikTok. There's also a lot of money to be made across all the other platforms.
On that last point, the brick and mortar retail stores. A week ago, we were on a webinar. It was about a brand that went from, I think it was 10 to 70 million. The story that he told was about how much success he had with affiliate marketing and how that led to brick and mortar retail stores reaching out to him to get into their stores. And I thought that was pretty amazing.
It really just ties in with last week's episode. All top of funnel is so important. It's beyond anything that you could put emphasis on, and it gets no glory. TikTok's changed that in a way. There's really good results when you do well on TikTok and you go viral and you really explode. You really do well. So TikTok has taken away a lot of the negative impact, but there is still a pain period, I would still say. I mean, your first 2-3 months on TikTok is still going to be painful, and it's painful in a different way. It's not just ad spend. It's really the cost of your product and your shipping, right?
I like to explain explain it, it's actually the same as any platform. Whether you're starting on Amazon, whether you're starting on D2C, there is always a pain period that you have to push through, because regardless of how big your brand is on Amazon or D2C, you do not exist on TikTok. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that it doesn't help. For sure, it absolutely helps, but it is a new marketplace and you still have some growing pains. Funnel position. TikTok functions as a powerful top of funnel engine. It drives mid and bottom of funnel conversions on other platforms where consumers complete their purchases. One thing I will say is that we did a survey and came back that it was 61% shoppers typically bought off of TikTok. I do know that things will change. Possibly Amazon could buy TikTok or something to that effect, something crazy. I do know that there is a lot of spillover. Amazon D2C journey. TikTok video goes viral. Everybody wants to go viral. And when I talk to people, I tell people that it's 1 in 1,000. People are always trying to recreate the magic. And since I've been working on TikTok and working with many brands, we've only made one viral video. Did she have 1 million followers? No, she actually had 1,500. But what she did do is she had the genius idea to turn the lights off when making a video of a product that lit up. And the product just went crazy. It sold 400 units in 30 minutes. And to this day, when that product is in stock, it just sells through at an epic rate. And on Amazon, it's gone on to do about $250,000 a month. And that is amazing TikTok viral effect. But with that being said, that was like 1 in 1,000. It could be even 1 in 10,000. It's not something that I typically try to tell people that this is what we're going for. What I tell people is we're trying to create an army of converting videos. If we by chance get lucky and have a viral video, well, that's great. But an army of converting videos, eyeballs on your product, awareness is essentially the goal and target that I'm shooting for.
It's just like every other top of funnel, with the difference in that this top of funnel has got much more of a direct effect on a potential sale. You do top of funnel on other platforms, YouTube, Meta, TV ads, radio ad, the whole thing, right? I mean, who's to know exactly what percentage of your sales are attributed to that effort that you put in on top and that spend on top? Whereas TikTok, it's much more measurable. What they've done is they've created a top of funnel platform that converts on platform pretty damn well and leads to off of platform conversions as well. I think it's an incredible product.
Absolutely. Search activity. Interested consumers search for the product on Google or directly on Amazon. Research shows that 58% of users discover new brands on the platform, and 47% of those users ultimately purchase products from outside platforms after discovery. Interesting. I do know that information is constantly changing, and it's interesting. It's very likely and very possible that TikTok's trust will increase every day that it's live. Honestly, if you go back 6 months ago, there was a possibility of them having to be shut down, had sold to a US business instead of a Chinese owned, and that still is in limbo, but it did affect the trust. But right now, I believe that the platform's trust is growing, and I think that it's very likely this number will increase every day.
I agree with you, and I think that got to be strong on TikTok. You can't just be using it. I know in the beginning there was a lot of, okay, well, go to TikTok and send all your traffic to Amazon, and that was allowed right in the beginning. Obviously, that's completely illegal at this point. You know, the reality is you want to be big on TikTok. You want to be converting on TikTok. You want to put in the effort. It is a lot of work. It's worthwhile getting your conversion rate up on TikTok. It is the next platform. The next generation is shopping, and that demographic of shoppers is getting wider and wider.
100%. Honestly, there is so much we could go into on TikTok, and honestly, we need subsequent episodes to break all of those points down for sure. Amazon sales spike. Product X, a multi-purpose kitchen gadget, was featured in a creator's kitchen hack TikTok video that reached 3.2 million views in 24 hours. The creator demonstrated 3 unexpected uses for the product that viewers hadn't considered before, creating an I need that response. 300% lift in Amazon units within 48 hours. Amazon's search rate improved from 35 to 3. BSR jumped from 156 to 4 in category. Frequently bought together placement increased by 5x. Wow, that is an incredible case. And the interesting thing is you see this every day. The beauty of TikTok videos or creators is that they use your product in a way that wasn't curated, wasn't planned. It's completely up to the creator's essentially imagination. The only thing we essentially give them is a guide. So tell them a little bit about the brand. We tell them a little bit what kind of the selling points. We also tell them what not to talk about, because sometimes there are certain products, like again in supplements, where you literally can't claim anything. In that category, you need to be very careful. But after that, it's up to the creator. And what happens is that typically the good content is people that have some sort of real life experience with the product from their past or present that kind of resonated with them personally. And to me, those are the videos that have the best conversion.
You know, I think that video is where it's at. So we're in a video consumption society. Here's the funny part is that on other platforms, it's your stills that convert. It's your stills with your offer that convert. On TikTok, you've only got video. So your videos are converting. But the golden rule that I always have for all platforms is your top of funnel has to be video. Your video is always the one that grabs the attention, that gets people interested, that want to watch and learn about you from nothing. You don't exist to them and suddenly you do because of a video, not because of a still, not because of an image, not because of an offer on an image, a video. Video format, for one, if we break this down, if we go behind the viral moment, it was a video. It was a video that caught people's attention, that created the need. Key focus video on all platforms, top of funnel video, but TikTok takes video and makes it convert.
One thing that I would tell people, if you go on Amazon, you take the top 10 best sellers of pretty much any product. Their product is better, stronger, cheaper, greater. Like everybody's duplicating themselves, saying that ours is better, buy ours, don't buy theirs, et cetera, et cetera. But consumers' trust, in my opinion, is at an all-time low. Honestly, they don't even believe what you say unless you have 500 reviews with people actually agreeing with what you said. The one thing that video does that stills can't do is it actually puts your product to the test. And so you take people, everyday people making content, using your product, it puts your product to the test and it shows the value of the product, because today I believe it's a society of show me, don't tell me. And I think that the authenticity of the creator is so much greater at a converting point than the still branded approach. And honestly, the brand, if they would have to approve every video on TikTok, I don't think that they would release any content, because these videos are so uncurated. Sometimes the ones that convert the most is the one that the brand would have shut down immediately. I worked with a product that cured dry skin, and the video started by somebody showing their nasty foot, and it went on to sell 10 to 20,000 a month for many months. So honestly, you kind of have to let the creators do their thing, and authenticity is what converts.
Yeah, sure. Case study, D2C impact. 150% D2C sales increase. Direct website sales growth in the 7 days following viral TikTok content. 200% site sessions. Increase in website traffic with 85% being new visitors. Now, new visitors. When you are competing at the top, brands that are fighting for every customer, they're willing to lose money to acquire the customer, to gain market share. New brands don't realize how valuable it is for the cost of a click or an impression to get these eyeballs onto your brand. Impressions are so important. 85% being new visitors with a 200% site session increase is monstrous. And then 70% repeat visitors, users who return to site within 14 days after initial TikTok driven visit. Incredible. All of those stats are absolutely incredible. 43% email signups, conversion rate to email list from TikTok source traffic, attribution path, organic TikTok, brand search, D2C website conversion. Organic TikTok, so TikTok did their thing, the creator did their thing, got people interested. They did what? Brand search, okay? D2C website conversion. It's a no-brainer, guys. Your PPC, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Google, it's your bottom of funnel web. It means nothing without you influencing the top of funnel, creating your own branded search. Right there, brand search, D2C website conversion. Unlike Amazon, the D2C site was able to capture customer data for long-term relationship building. Ultimately, Shopify is worth more to you because it's your business. It's not Amazon's business. Amazon will make you more money when you first start. Don't get stuck on Amazon. Just keep growing, build your Shopify store, and let's help you with TikTok.
Creators as catalysts. Why creator content outperforms brand ads. Authentic demonstration of product benefits. Higher trust factor with established audiences. Relatable context that consumers identify with. Perceived as genuine recommendations, not paid promotions. Native to platform's content style and trends. User-generated content delivers 4x higher click-through rate and 50% drop in cost per engagement compared to brand-created content. Absolutely. I think I was touching on that just a minute ago, but I very much agree. The overly curated content drastically does not perform as well as a fresh creator giving raw content. Unscripted, just going with their personal vibe and imagination. Now, don't get me wrong. What does it take to become a creator? Essentially, it's 1,000 followers and a cell phone. So there are bad creators. And so this is something to be aware of. But when you do have a good creator and you get them as a brand ambassador, it can make your brand explode faster than any other source, in my opinion.
You know, let's rewind 20 years, 30 years. what did a company need to be able to function? Well, first of all, a website was a nice to have, wasn't essential. And you needed salespeople. You needed people on the ground knocking on doors, visiting your customers, selling them things. And even if you were going into retail, you needed salespeople to go knock on the retail doors. These creators are basically your salespeople working for commission only. All you're doing is putting your product in their hand. Now, this is a secret, guys. Do not tell the creators that they're salespeople, all right? No. They're creators. They're influencers. It's a big deal in today's day and age. But, if you want to draw a comparison, go back 25 years, 30 years ago, they're doing the exact same thing. And guess what? You don't have to pay them if they don't sell. All you've done is put a product in their hand. I mean, how incredible is that? You've got thousands of salespeople willing to sell your product for you. All you have to do is give it to them. It's like, you can't beat the model.
Can't beat it. Anytime that you can do a performance-based strategy, you really can't go wrong. Search behavior post TikTok. TikTok discovery, Google search, Amazon search, brand site visit. I think that is very interesting. And I think that I could see that happening on multiple cases. And I think it's the conversation we've been having. When TikTok content goes viral, we see immediate ripple effects across search platforms, Google Trends, Amazon autocomplete. Customers also bought. Amazon autocomplete, frequently bought together. Those are kind of Amazon's way of complementing your success.
It's the same thing over and over again. We're putting something out there, creating our own search volume, and people are then finding you because of that.
Now, Amazon is default checkout. Now, we've touched on this before, and I think it goes without saying, Amazon has put the customer first, and they've done that since day one. And I think that is a lot to do with their success, because without customers, they wouldn't exist. So I do think that they have figured that out, and they have, after COVID, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but in 2020, they grew the equivalent of the previous 10 years combined in 2020. It has a lot to do with the fact that everybody was forced to stay home and binge shop. Why choose Amazon? Convenience, absolutely. I don't know about you, but if I'm bored, I'm adding things to my cart, my wish list, Amazon is just amazing. Free shipping, sometimes, depending upon the product and where you live, sometimes you get same-day shipping offers, which is incredible. Trust and reviews. Social proof from thousands of reviews validates the person's decision. Now, interesting, they say that, but I would say it doesn't matter as much of the new brand, and that's why we recommend Amazon first, is because the trust in Amazon is so true that allows them to try new brands with no worries, because they know they can return anything regardless if they used it or not.
When you've got that returnable purchase, you can do anything. I've personally experienced some horror stories with some very well-known brands, and unfortunately I didn't buy from Amazon. I purchased direct, and it was a memory card, and the thing went bust, and they actually had a class action lawsuit. They set up this whole call center to handle these returns, but the trick is in the detail, right? The trick is that they take so long to even process your return, hoping you're going to forget about it. We're talking listed company here. So when listed companies employ these tactics to stop you from getting your products, the fact that Amazon will give you that feature, it's a no-brainer for anybody starting a business to put a product on there, because people are willing to try it.
I was selling a product. I still can't believe Amazon did this. We were wholesaling at the time, and we sold like a $5,000 business router. They let this person return it 9 months after they purchased. 9 months. I don't even know how that was possible. No questions asked. $5,000 9 months later. That was just ridiculous. I will say that they have made it so that there is a return window, which is an improvement. But honestly, Amazon's making so much money that the seller isn't as important as the buyer.
I mean, Eric, that's not the worst I've heard. I've heard stories about Costco accepting beds like 3 years after being used, and they get a new one.
Wow.
I know. It's horrific, but I've heard it.
Imagine when they go to resell that item. I mean, do you put like new, used, or?
Big companies, they got the trust of the customers. The customers spend their money. That's just open book. Spend all day long.
Wow, that story takes the cake for me. That's a good Febreze commercial, honestly, but that is horrific.
D2C as a premium brand experience, subscription offers, exclusive subscription models with special pricing and perks unavailable on Amazon. So 15 to 20% discount for recurring orders, early access to new products, member-only bundles and gifts. I do think that if you've got your head screwed on right and you do have a product that can be used more than once, or something that expires or gets used up, it's a no-brainer on Amazon. Get your subscribe and save game on, give them a big hefty discount. So that I would say that that that's kind of both models. But there is one thing there, member only bundles and gifts. So that's very important. And as a brand owner, it's very important that you understand the power in that. Off of Amazon, D2C, you're creating a tribe. It's not just purchases, it's a tribe. So these people are believing in you, trusting in you, buying your product, living through your brand, and reward them. Treat them well. They deserve good prices, good value, special discounts only for them, special bundles only for them. Complete product range, access to the brand's full catalog, including limited editions and new releases, exclusive colorways and variants, bundled deals not available elsewhere, complimentary product discovery, and then loyalty building. Direct relationship with customers for long-term value creation. Points programs and rewards, personalized recommendations, community membership benefits. The biggest outtakes on these is exclusive colorways and variants, bundled deals not available elsewhere, and giving these people member-only discounts. To give them their own product type is also pretty cool. I mean, it's not completely viable as a business owner, but it just really buys that loyalty. And the bigger your tribe, the more people you drive, the more people you get. People talk, and that's why you have D2C as an experience for your customers. Otherwise, just stay on Amazon. You really want to create this we love you feel. We're a part of you. We want you to enjoy us every single day. And I think a lot of brand owners forget about that. They just chase in the buck, and they forget about the fact that they've got a bunch of loyal followers there who really enjoy their products. This ties in completely with TikTok and Amazon. TikTok, you're getting those eyeballs like we spoke about earlier, you're getting those impressions, and you're getting new customers to brand. So really position yourself off of Amazon. Realize where you're at. Realize where that website sits in the ecosystem of your online presence. Okay, it's not TikTok separate, Shopify separate, Amazon separate. It's still you. It's still your brand. You have to give them the special experience where you can, which is your Shopify store. You need to make your money where you can, which is Amazon. And you need to get your traffic where you can, which is TikTok.
Measurement and attribution challenges. TikTok doesn't directly attribute to Amazon or D2C purchases, creating a dark funnel where influence can be precisely measured through traditional analytics. Workaround solutions, post-purchase surveys, promo code, correlated lift analysis, branded search monitoring, URL parameters, recommended tools, Triple Whale, Northbeam, PostScript. I do think that this is interesting. And whenever I'm having this conversation, typically I am having this conversation in regards to Amazon. And typically how we look at it is we look at branded search, because what is branded search? Well, branded search means that somebody went onto Amazon and they put in your brand and sometimes like the name of the product, something to that effect, and search for you directly. And that basically means that external marketing effort that is driving that traffic. In my opinion, the best to show on Amazon. Using promo codes is okay. It's a little bit old school. I like the branded search, and that's the one that I typically use.
Take it one step further. I'm a Wicked Reports fan. I'll happily plug them for free. They're an amazing tool, super raw data. They're a little pricey. Speak to us. We can get you a good deal. Analytics is where it's at, and if you can really pinpoint where your new customers are coming from or your traffic is coming from that's converting, you can obviously make it better, because what you can measure, you can improve. I think, it's a no-brainer. If you were doing a certain level of sales across the board and you started doing TikTok and suddenly that level of sales increases and the one change is TikTok, well, that's where you're getting your level of sales from. And any of you guys that are listening to this and doing this yourself or using another agency to handle your TikTok, don't give them a hard time if your sales is going up. It's going up because they're working hard and TikTok's working.
Sometimes you have that conversation about something about TikTok isn't whatever, or they're not getting the sales they would like, and then you happen to go on Amazon and you can see that they 2x or something to that effect. They're hitting new highs. I think it's important to look at the whole picture when looking at TikTok, and honestly, you need to look at the whole picture when looking at top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Best practices for brands. Send free products without obligation to review. Focus on creators with high engagement, not just follower count. Provide content hooks, but avoid over-direction. Yeah, I think we touched on some of that earlier. It's important to not over-curate, let the creator be creative. Like that viral video, the follower count did not matter. It's actually the quality of the video that matters. But if they do have a lot of followers, it's not something to ignore. It does mean that they are doing something that is generating interest, and creator that has 100,000, a million followers is definitely something that can add a tremendous value. But on TikTok, you can get away with doing a lot with micro influencers. And so I definitely think that that is something that you should focus on. Monitor Amazon signals. Set up real-time alerts for Amazon BSR changes. Review velocity. Frequently bot together. Use Helium 10, Jungle Scout for monitoring. I'm going to give a call out. I don't use either of those softwares. I use something called Sellerise. We have it set up so that every time there's a change in pretty much anything on an account health basis, brand management basis, it's automatically, comes to a Slack channel. And I think that it's important to get changes in real time because there's always stuff that is happening. And you need to, as managing Amazon brands, you need to hear about things as they happen. Sometimes 24 hours is too late.
Dual channel optimization. Keep Amazon listings updated with fresh content. Optimize D2C landing pages for mobile visitors. It's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, if you're selling on Amazon, you're keeping your listings updated with fresh content, and you know your D2C landing pages for mobile visitors, it's part of a daily check that you should be doing, you know, or every update that gets done, everything that gets pushed through, you need to be checking your mobile. Create TikTok specific landing pages on your D2C site. You know, that one's a little bit tougher to do because you're not really directing your traffic off of TikTok. So you're directing it on TikTok, which is a big misconception that people have. They think that, oh, okay, I'm sending this traffic because that's how Meta works. You know, I'm creating an ad and I'm sending it somewhere else. On TikTok, you're not doing that. People are scrolling through their feed. They've got a bunch of videos. They see this one, it catches their eye, and there's a little button. There's a little button embedded on the video that they're watching. All they have to do is click the button and buy the product. It's that easy. It's too easy. I don't think you really need TikTok specific landing pages, but I do think that the optimization of all your other channels is always part of your daily routine anyway. And strategic retargeting. So this one I like, you know, create lookalike audience based on TikTok engages, use Meta platforms for retargeting with similar creative, and implement an SMS flow for abandoned carts. Creating audiences, lookalike audiences based on TikTok engages. If you're running business ads, you could probably do that. Otherwise, you know, just pretty standard retargeting stuff is pretty important across the board always. I always run retargeting campaigns as part of my top of funnel. Use Meta platforms for retargeting with similar creative. That one you could use the same creative. So, you know, as long as you've got permission from the creators, just use the same creative. Let them tell you and pay them whatever it is that they're asking. Usually it's not much. If it's a really good video, maybe it's $100 to $200. If it's run of the mill, $20 a video is sufficient. Build up your army of creatives, run it on Meta. It works.
I would say that do not use the video without their permission. You do not want somebody with a video camera and your product negatively impacted by your decisions. I'm not going to emphasize that enough. If you do not want to give somebody with a loudspeaker to basically speak incredibly negatively, so make sure you do get their permission to use their content because they are not just creators, they are your business partners. You need them as much as they need you, and it's important to treat them like business partners. And sometimes they'll do it for a cheap price, sometimes they want commission. There's so many different variables, but make sure that you do get permission. That's the one thing that I definitely would touch on. The other thing that I would mention is that TikTok is a great place for surveying content. So on Meta, you have to do a lot of tests, but TikTok, when you have a winning video, it's a winning video. When you put it on Meta, it's going to continue to win and convert. And so that strategy, I can't emphasize. I think that's a fantastic strategy. Okay, great. So this is the final takeaways. I do have, after this slide, I'm going to go into a real life product that is showing the TikTok halo effect in great quantity. TikTok, it is a discovery engine, not just an ad platform, powerful catalyst for product awareness. It drives purchase intent across the entire e-commerce ecosystem. Multi-channel capture is critical. Both Amazon and D2C sites serve as essential endpoints for conversion, with different strengths in capturing TikTok-driven demand. Integrated strategy wins. Brands that align their TikTok content strategy with optimized Amazon listings and compelling D2C experiences will maximize the halo effect.
I hope that the people that are listening to whatever format is that you're watching this or listening to this, you're starting to get the picture, guys. You've got a funnel, you've got a top, a middle, and a bottom. TikTok is very important for the top. Discovery engine, as it says right there. Retarget with the rest, your middle of funnel, and then, you know, keep your PPC, you know, really tight and capture all of that bottom of funnel purchase. But that's your brand strategy in a nutshell. I mean, of course, you know, we touched on a couple of things, creating specific offers for people that are on your DTC only, really optimizing that platform for that kind of an experience, being super special for these guys. These are not separate from each other. They are all part of your business, essential for your business to grow. Do not compare, say, I don't use Shopify because it doesn't make me any money. It doesn't make you any money because you haven't put enough effort into it, and you are going to still be stuck as an Amazon seller only. Or I don't know TikTok, I don't understand TikTok. Get an agency to run it for you if you don't understand it. You need it. Your brand needs it. You want to make money, you want to continue to grow, you need it. All of this is part of one business. So one holistic view of the entire thing.
First of all, it is 9 o'clock in the morning or 9:45 on a Monday. We're getting this in, we're doing it. I can tell my notifications are going crazy. But that's what we do. We show up and we show up. So this is something that I go on many calls to to illustrate the halo effect of TikTok. So first of all, we have two products. I'm going to show you this one, which is the Metacube in the $19.90, $162,000 a month. Absolutely crushing it. Fantastic. The software that I'm using to show this is the Helium 10 of TikTok. It's called Kalodata. Fantastic. This product, crushing it. Now let me show you the other example. The other example is a $45 product, which is a luxury product compared to the other one. It's about double to almost 3x the price point, which on Amazon, premium product. $536,000. It's doing about 3 times that. Wow, that is amazing. How does that correlate to Amazon? Well, let's take a look. So the category or the keyword is toner pads. As you can see, here's our first product here, the premium. They are doing 30% off when you subscribe and save. So they're pushing
Pushing it hard.
but they can. And so we do that in a subsequent video, but look at that. They also took advantage of the badge, the viral on TikTok. We'll go into the tricks of the hero image. Hero image is all about manipulating the click-through rate, and they put the badge right there so that the AI can't see it. And the AI. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to take a look at the other one. The first thing in an agency is bad juju to click on an ad. So we don't click on an ad. So I'm going to show you this product, and then I'm going to show you the Metacube. Okay. So here is the first one. Got the viral on TikTok, $60, about 3x to the other one, doing $1.4 million a month. Absolutely crushing it. And a premium product, 2 to 3 times the average price on the page. Absolutely phenomenal. Now let's go to the other one. The other one is at the $15 to $19 range, $10 million a month. Absolutely incredible. Just incredible. Now, how could you see that these were attributed to TikTok? Well, like we were saying in the video, branded search. So let's go take a look at that. So we'll go back to the category and we'll put in toner pads. Now let's see what the Helium 10 extension comes up with. So first of all, you can see here is the premium product with 24,000 search volume. Fantastic, doing great. I'm sure that the TikTok journey and explosiveness is up very closely with this search volume illustrated here, which is incredible. Now let's take the $10 million product, Metacube toner pads. Now I've seen it a little bit better than this, so I'm going to type it in a little bit different because I don't feel like it. Let's see, Metacube. Wow, Metacube Zero Pore Pad, 150,000 search volume. Wow. If that is not an example of what TikTok can do, I don't know what is. That is incredible. 10 million a month. Look at that search volume. This is absolutely bananas. That is more than flowers at Mother's Day.
It's crazy. It's TikTok nailed it, and I hope that everybody watching understands the basics of marketing, because if you watched our first 2 and you're not bored out of your minds, you'll understand the basics of marketing and you will see how genius this product is. It has taken the top of funnel, put rocket launchers on them, lit them, and it sent it to the moon, because you've got your TikTok sales. You can see from the data they're selling on TikTok. They're doing fantastic. On Amazon, they're doing amazing. I can tell you now, D2C, they're doing amazing. It's all one system, guys. You need to grin and bear it for a while, absolutely. But it's your business. It's not, oh, that's Shopify. I don't touch Shopify. It's not, oh, that's TikTok. I don't know how to do TikTok. It's your business. It's your brand. It's your brand website. You should be focusing on that no matter what the cost is. And you should be giving it to people to manage for you who know what they're doing. Same with TikTok. It's your brand. You should be focusing on it no matter what it costs. And you should be giving it to people who know what they're doing. Because these effects are real. People are experiencing them all day long. I say people, brand owners who actually see themselves as a brand, who understand what a funnel is, and who understand what top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel is, and who take advantage of this amazing platform called TikTok. Even though they themselves may not use it or like it. It doesn't matter, guys. I don't like X, so I'm not going to advertise on X. Wrong answer, man. I don't like TikTok, so I'm not going to advertise on TikTok. Wrong answer. It doesn't matter what you like. It matters what the people who buy your product like and where they hang out. Because when you can dangle your product where they hang out, you're going to get them to buy. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will say that the cost per click goes in trends. The newer platforms have giant audience increases and a low cost per click, which brings in a high trend of people. And then once it starts to increase its fees, it starts to lose essential trick, so to speak, and people go on to the next platform. And we could definitely do a whole podcast on the evolution, starting with email marketing, Meta, but everything goes through a phase. And right now, TikTok is hot. It's working. Fees are low, 6 to 8%. I do know that we can definitely do a breakdown on all of that. But I will say, if you need help managing your TikTok and you don't know what to do, we'll put a Calendly below, and you guys can go ahead and schedule a call, and we'll see if we can help you.
Thanks for pushing through and watching this. I hope you guys are getting smarter. I hope you guys are making more money because there's a lot of good information for free. Mahala.
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this episode 3, we're going to start increasing the velocity in the content that we're doing. We'll be doing high level stuff, and we're also doing some tutorials and some guests coming up. So thank you guys for stopping in, and we'll see you in the next one.